What is up, my friends? Manny here. Welcome back to another awesome video. Recently we had a very nice outdoor climbing day. We were 3 people, which made some beautifully filmed climbing shots from above possible. One of them you might have seen already. It was the training ascent of Block Rocking Beats, which I posted recently. But the guy who filmed that did not only film but also try the route himself, and this time I got up to film his attempt. Now, it is quite important to note that he's actually a super strong boulderer. He made first ascents around Vienna up to 8B plus and stuff. So he's got some serious max strength going. And for me, fan of climbing comparisons as I am, I couldn't help asking him if I could use our footage to make a little comparison of us on that route. And he said no problem. So that's what you're gonna see in this video. Should be pretty interesting actually. Alright, enough storytelling. The route is a very short power endurance classic 8A plus called Block Rocking Beats of an area called Atlitzgräben in the south of Vienna. Around 14 moves with 3 clipping positions, super quick, nice climbing with the red point crux at the end. And I think if you're fast you can actually climb this thing in under a minute. That would be actually a pretty interesting challenge. Anyway, we're gonna start with his attempt. I'm gonna try to point out a few interesting things, then we're gonna watch me do the same, and afterwards I'm gonna edit the whole thing together to a side-by-side comparison as usual, in order to fully satisfy the true comparison junkies amongst you guys. And since this is a power endurance test piece, I want you to pay special attention to speed and flow of the climbers. So as you can see, he just pre-clipped himself this first quick draw there. He's now coming back down for a little more shakeouts and a little chalk up, I think, and then he's gonna start the route. And there I want you to pay special attention to how he solves the first sequence. He makes a big move to the right, upholds there, crimps it and steps to the left hand and makes a kind of Gaston move into the first bigger jog, which is actually a pretty hard solution, I think, which we're gonna see when we compare it to my solution. From the jog he's gonna match, I think. Yes, there we go. And now he's gonna step right up and go straight into the next slot crimp hold there, which is kind of okay. So you have to clip the next quick draw from it basically. Now there is a little bit of uncertainty which hold he should take, so a little bit of unsureness, so to say, what's the beta. And there he goes to a little Gaston crimp and reaches further to this next sloper. I want you to remember that as well. Now he's stepping on the right. This is actually a pretty hard solution, a pretty damn hard solution that I cannot do, I think, to make this crossover into this good slot from which you have to clip the next quick draw. Now we're gonna see a move to a Gaston move, small crimp, and now big move to the next big crimp. And this is also quite interesting because he steps with the left foot there. This is also something that's gonna be different when I climb it. Little Gaston, little crimp, pinch, intermediate, big right high foot, and a slap to the next crimp. And there he unfortunately drops off. Kind of a good go, I think, from him. He climbed pretty fast. Yeah, so let's see how I do on it. So the first big difference that you should notice is that I didn't pre-clip this one draw there, and I didn't do that because I know the route actually quite well. I climbed it a couple of times already for training purposes, so I know that you can clip it kind of easily from this jog there. And as you can see, I also go into the jog differently. I don't do this big Gaston crimp move that he did, but I make a rather dynamic move from this slot to the left. Now big high foot for the right, reaching into the same hold as he did, the slot crimp and clipping the next quick draw, which we did just the same. I instantly reach on to this Gaston move, and here I do something differently. I crimp this Gaston kinda hard and go into the right sloper first. And now I want you to pay attention to my right foot. I do this kinda sketchy heel hook there to reach into the slot, which is a pretty big difference to kind of what he does. He steps it, and this is actually a lot harder, I think, from a gripping perspective. I couldn't do it. So yeah, stepping up one more time, and I didn't step anything with my left foot to go into that good Gaston hold for the left hand, from which you clip the next quick draw. Intermediate pinch, right high foot, slapping onto the next crimp there, and high left foot, and then you get a nice intermediate crimp there and make a big move, boom, to the top jog, so to say, and then it's already over. Alright, now one more time, side by side. The first thing to notice is that our behavior at the start of the route is actually kind of different. As you can see, he's shaking here quite some time, getting rid of every little bit of pump in his forearms, while I'm going into the route, including the starting sequence, more or less straightforward, in a straightforward fashion. And I think he does this because he wants to be sure that he doesn't carry any of the starting pump into the actual route itself. And you have to realize that boulderers at this level, I think they are not really used to actually climb on good big holes anymore, you know. So even these good big holes, they give him a little bit of a pump, I think, and that's what he's trying to get rid of by standing there quite some time, pre-clipping the next quick draw, and being sure that he has the best prerequisites, so to say, to start into the route. And now I think it is quite important to notice that I synchronized us in a way so that when we reach the jog, as it happened now, for the same time, now we are synchronized, so to say. I'm clipping a quick draw here, which he doesn't need to do anymore, which is why he's a little bit faster here. Move into the slot crimp, clipping the quick draw, and now he's already going up. I'm going straight into the little intermediate Gaston, which he's just taking as an intermediate, and I actually use it to crimp it to go to the next sloper with the right hand. Now we've got the situation again. He's stepping, I'm heel hooking. Move into the slot. We're pretty much exactly the same speed there. I'm just swinging over and stepping something. He's stepping very high with the right foot, close to the quick draw. And this is actually the moment where I'm overtaking him a little bit in speed and going to the next good Gaston move there. I'm a little bit faster, maybe 2 seconds with the next clipping. Right foot up very high, slapping to the next crimp and finishing it off with the last move. Pretty much exactly at the time when he drops off. So yeah, I think it was quite interesting to see that I didn't climb a lot faster actually than he did, but at the same time he also did, I think, 2 times a harder solution than it needs to be. And this is something that's very common, you know. If you're super strong when it comes to max strength, you tend to not find the right solutions even after a couple of tries, even after a couple of checkouts on the route, because you can do so many different solutions, you know, that are all harder than the actually easiest solution. I did this route for a couple of times already, and I know in the meantime what the easiest solutions are for people with our size and stuff. We are actually quite similarly tall. We are both about 172 or something. All in all, I think we both did very well on the route. I just have a little bit more acclimatization at the moment for power endurance things, which makes sense because I'm just coming from a sport climbing, elite climbing trip basically. And I'm pretty sure that once he gets more used to this project, actually, that he will send it kind of easily. So, because he can do the single moves with such ease. And I can remember at the time when I was projecting this route, I struggled at every single move, but at some point I could climb it anyway. So yeah, he's definitely gonna send it soon. Thanks for letting me use the footage. Big thanks to my belayer and him for this awesome day outdoors. Thanks for going the extra effort to make these shots possible, and I hope you liked the video. Drop some likes and comments and opinions, of course. If you did, it helps a lot. And until then, guys, I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye.
Yeah.